Another suggestion, take risks. Take some risks, calculated risks. You don't want to be foolhardy about it, but take some calculated risks so that you can see what opportunities there might be. Try yourself. Don't always take the safe route. Try new things. In fact, do those things that other people aren't willing to do. Be willing to go a new route and see what opportunities may avail themselves because you were willing to take some risks. I think one of my favorite suggestions from employers is the suggestion that you think like a manager. Act as though you owned the company. Make decisions on the job that guide your behavior based on what is good for the company. It's amazing how differently you would behave, how differently you would perform, and how different the outcome of your decisions would be if you made every decision as though that company were your own company. And it's what we call an attitude of proprietorship. An attitude of proprietorship means that you think like a manager, make decisions like an owner, and that you perform as though everything in that company was for the good of the company, because what's good for the company is good for you, and what's good for you is good for the company. And if you could get to that point in the way that you perform, in the way that, that you behave on the job, you will increase your value and increase your worth to the employer. This is an especially good strategy if in fact you think you might in fact want to be a manager one day. To begin thinking like a manager now as practice for the day you might become a manager or get that promotion to a managerial or leadership or supervisory position. I know what happens in the mind of a lot of people first time on the job is they say, well, I know I can do that job. I know that I could be the manager of this department. I know that I could serve in some supervisory role. And if the company would just give me the opportunity, well, gosh, I would show them that I could do it. But they've got to give me that opportunity. They've got to promote me to that position. And as soon as they promote me to that managerial position, why then I'll start acting like a manager. I'll start thinking like a manager. Well, you've got to know that it just doesn't work that way. That by the time somebody is promoted to a managerial position, they have already been acting like the manager. They've already been performing like a manager. They've already been thinking like a manager. My advice in this case would be that by the time you get the promotion to a managerial position, that you were the obvious choice. That everybody knew you would get it. Everybody thought you were the obvious person for that job because you've already been sort of doing the job long before you got it. So long before you become a manager, you are thinking at that level already, performing at that level already, even dressing at that level already. When you come into an organization, look at where it is you want to be and begin thinking in those terms. Begin dressing in those terms. Begin performing in those terms. So think ahead. Think like a manager. Adopt an attitude of proprietorship.